The officer who fired the fatal shot that killed Grand Rapids native Breonna Taylor is once again working in law enforcement. This comes 3 years after the botched warrant by Louisville police led to Taylor's death. News 8's Amanda Porter talked to Breonna Taylor's sister. She is here now with reaction. All new tonight. Amanda?
Breonna Taylor's sister, Dee Dee, says she's afraid that since Myles Cosgrove and other officers who were not criminally charged in Breonna's death, nothing is stopping another deadly incident from happening to another family. The ex-Louisville police officer whose bullet killed Breonna Taylor has a new badge.
I feel devastated, honestly.
A harsh reality for the family who lost their daughter just over 3 years ago.
It's like instead of them getting a consequence, their reward is a new job. Their consequence is a new job, or being able to move on to a new county, still hold a gun, still interact with the community without any consequence. And that in itself is a liability to our community, in my opinion.
Y'all sheriff, the head sheriff, do not care about this community.
Today, protesters gathered at the Carroll County Sheriff's Office an hour northeast of Louisville, where Myles Cosgrove now works as a deputy.
Because you have no idea what's about to happen. You're beautiful little town.
I do appreciate those protesters for making awareness and also being peaceful.
Although Cosgrove was fired by the Louisville Police Department, he was never criminally charged.
The new law that governs decertification in Kentucky, it really only strengthens holding law enforcement officers accountable who have been charged criminally. It could be with either a felony or a misdemeanor. That's when the new law kicks in around taking away their police authority or their license, their certification. He was never held criminally liable.
In a statement, Cosgrove's attorney pointed out that he was never charged and that several groups voted unanimously for him to maintain his police officer certification. He also said that Cosgrove, quote, maintains that his actions after he and his partners came under fire followed Louisville Metro Police Department policy and constitutional use of force guidelines. But Taylor's sister believes this is just another reason change still needs to be made.
I think that, again, he's a huge liability, and how many more incidents do we need in order for us to realize that there needs to be more done around police brutality? I'm not saying no one deserves a second chance, but a second chance is not new employment. A second chance is change behavior. And so I just want something to be done, and it can't be in this manner.
The Department of Justice released an in-depth investigation that reported officers in the Louisville Police Department being racially insensitive and using unreasonable tactics, including executing search warrants without knocking and announcing. Michelle?
You know, this case has some basic, it shows you, ladies and gentlemen, that when it comes to police officers, they get away with murder like this. The black community don't even trust their police department like this. When you kill Breonna Taylor in a no-knock warrant, and then you have the officer that was responsible of her death, who has never been criminally charged, going to another precinct, shows you that they don't care about us. They don't. You see, shots out to Breonna Taylor's sister and the protesters that went out peacefully and talk and have their feelings known. But then you have situations like this. What happened with Tamir Rice? Now, with that situation, I give the people of Cleveland, you know, I'll give them credit because they're the ones that found out that he was hired in another precinct, and the people there didn't like that. So they protested, and it changes people's minds in that police department of not hiring that guy that killed Tamir Rice. Can you think about Kimberly Potter? And I did the story about her, how they did Dante Wright. You know, she's released in prison. She should serve 2 years in prison. And then all of a sudden, she didn't stay in Minnesota. Instead, they moved her to Wisconsin. And then you have another incident like with Laquan McDonald in Chicago, when the officer that killed him gave him a slap on the wrist. And then the Mike Brown situation, when the officer there, they didn't give him an indictment at all. With the Jayland Walker case, we just talked about that. When these officers, they didn't get indictments in the Jayland Walker investigation. And then all of a sudden, you got cases after cases. You got police detective in Chicago was found not guilty. He walked in the death of Rekia Boyd. And then with the Sandra Bland investigation, in case after case after case, officers either get a slap on the wrist or they have been criminally charged, so they get hired in another police precinct for that. And then you see an officer, they killed Fernando Castillo in Minnesota. He walked. And then also it's so much, it's situations that happen, these stories that happen that I follow, that I've done, shows you that these officers can get away with murder and nothing we can do about it in their eyes. And I see family members are grieving for their loss of a child that's not coming back because officers want to take their lives. And they're not coming back. And how they reward them? By getting another job, get promoted. Look what happened with Betty Shelby in Oklahoma. When she killed Terrence Crutcher, you know what they did for her? They promoted her. They promoted her. And Terrence Crutcher wasn't even a threat. See, this is mainly the reason why people in the black community don't even trust the police at all. And they try to say they want to make changes, but even if that were true, they're not going to bring these people back. I mean, I'm talking about the people that they killed. They're not going to bring them back. Their families ain't going to see them again. They gonna see no holidays with them again. But they get promoted. They get a new job. Some get a slap on the wrist and, go in another state to do the rest of their sentence. This is what they do. I talked to you guys about that before. This is what they do. And you wonder why the black community don't trust the police like that. Y'all let me know what you think about this in the comments, and I'll talk to you in the next video. This is Lions Den signing off. Deuces.